Yay! Welcome to my lesson 9. Well done, you've come this far. Great job. Round of applause for you. Great job. All right, so in today's tutorial, we'll be talking about chords. So in music theory, a chord is a group of 3 or more notes played together. For example, this is a chord, this is a chord, this is a chord. You see, it's a lot. I can add it. As far you're playing 3 or more notes together. The most basic type of chord is a triad, as the name implies, triad, which means 3. So which a triad chord is made up or is built up from a root note, then the third, and the perfect fifth. Did you see why you need to understand interval? And that is why all this way I've been explaining. So a triad chord is built up on the root notes, the third above it, and the perfect fifth, or you can just say fifth, depending on the kind of chords you want to build. So that is a chord. For example, if I want to go for F chord, I can pick my F as my starting, then I will go to the third, and I will go to my fifth. Now, what I've played now is a major chord. Why? I will show you in 2 ways, because the third is a major third. Chords can be classified into various types based on their interval and quality of sound. So we have major chord, minor chord, suspended chord, diminished chord, augmented chord, dominant 7th chord, minor 7th chord, and major 7th chord. All these chord types are what I'm going to show you in this tutorial. Alright, take note of this. Each type of chord mentioned has a unique sound and emotional quality, contributing to the overall mood and expression of the musical piece. Now, this is the C. I will just use 3 of my fingers so that you can see clearly, or where I can also alternate the finger. The C major is this. Don't worry, I will explain how you are going to build it. The C minor, I mentioned that, and I said C dominant. There's a dominant 7th, then C diminished, C 7th. You see that? If you listen to each of these chords, each of it gives you a different sound quality, which you are going to see. Now time for us to build a major triad chords. For you to build a major triad chord, you need the root note, which means the key you want to build a chord on, and you need a major third, and you need a fifth. So for example, let's say we want to build the chord of C major. The first is that this is the root note, C. Then we need what? A major. We need a major third, and that is what I keep saying, that you need to understand intervals. We need a major third and what? A perfect fifth. Now, for you to build a C minor chord, you need the root, which is the C, which is the chord you want to build, and you need a minor third, and you need a perfect fifth. Some of you might be thinking, what is the function of all these intervals? The root tells you what chord you're playing. The third defines the quality of the chord. If you remove the third from your chord doesn't have quality. Then the fifth is what gives you sustainability. So we don't just have the 3-note chord. Sometimes sometimes you can also have the 4-note chord. Not every chord doesn't mean that it has to be 3. In fact, you can even have the 5-note chord. For example, I can have this as a chord. You see, that's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can add this to it. Okay, let me put my 7th. See, that's a 5-note chord. So your chord is not just 3. Do you understand? So now the roots defines the chord which you're playing. Then the third, either major or minor, defines the quality of the chord. Then the fifth give the chord stability. Then if it's a 4-note chord, for example this, now it gives you more, it defines the quality more, it gives it more stability. I haven't showed you how to derive or how to build the major and the minor triads. So we can also build the augmented triad. So the augmented triad consists of the roots. We already know what root is now, and a major third and the augmented fifth. Remember, this is our fifth for augmented. This is it. Wow, that's a very sweet chord. So that is the augmented triad. You can also build the diminished triad this same way. We have the roots, then you have your minor third, and also the diminished fifth, which is F sharp. So this is your diminished triad. Augmented triad again is the roots, major third, and augmented fifth. This is the fifth. Don't forget, this is the fifth. Then this is the augmented fifth. Then a diminished triad is the roots, minor third, and diminished fifth. This is the fifth. I reduce it. You see, all this boils back to interval. Trust me, you need to understand your interval for you to understand everything I'm explaining in chords. I haven't done augmented and diminished triads. We can also go to suspended chord. There are two types of suspended chord. We have the suspended second and we have the suspended fourth. So this is a suspended fourth. The suspended fourth chord is built like the root. Then I will do suspended second first. The major second and the fifth. Which means we are now removing the chord quality, which is the third. If you hear this, remember I talk about mode and expression in my introduction. If you listen to this chord, it creates an unresolved tension. So it is most likely that anytime you have your suspended chord played, you resolve. Wow, you can feel that now I resolve to my one chord, which means I resolve to a major chord. So it's a tension which needs to be resolved. So this is your suspended second chord. You can take it around. In fact, most time we do it to do a roll up. You understand? So suspended second is the root, major second, and perfect fifth. Then suspended fourth is root, perfect fourth, and perfect fifth. That also creates the same tension. Ooh, there. You hear that tension? So it gives you this mode of unresolved sound. Like, okay, yes, what do we, yes, come on. It's like hanging. So this is it. So very good chord to use in a specific point, which I'm going to explain when we start our full accompaniment. Next on the chord classification is a dominant chord. A dominant chord is one of the 4-note chords. I'm still going to explain. Remember, we are treating triad, but since you are building a dominant chord, we're going to play more than 3 keys or 3 notes. So that is why I said it's one of the 4-note chords. So for you to build a dominant chord, you need a root, which is a dominant 7th. So you need a root, a major third, perfect fifth, and a minor 7th. Remember, how did I get a minor 7th? Remember, I told you that if you play the scale of C major, all the keys which are played are in their major. If you give them number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this is 7. If you play it this way, it will become what? A major 7th. But once you reduce the 7th, it becomes a what? A dominant 7th chord. So to build a dominant 7th chord again is C, major third, perfect fifth, minor 7th. Then the next one is a major 7th chord. Oh, that is similar to what you just did. You need a root to build it. You need a root, a third. you need a perfect fifth, and now this time around you need a major seventh. So that's the major seventh. Easy, direct. Then the last one on the chord classification, which I've said earlier, is a minor seventh chord. So let's also take the same C again. I can take it to other keys. Mind you, there is difference between chord progressions. We're going to do chord progressions and voicing when we start playing this chord. But now I'm teaching you how you can build a chord, how you can derive a chord from any key you want to do it. It can be any key. I'm going to show you an example. So let us quickly build a minor seventh chord. So for a minor seventh chord, you need the root, which is C. You can use any key. I will show you some example before I finish this tutorial. You need a minor third. Now you still need a perfect fifth, and you need what? A minor seventh. So this is C minor seventh. The root is the bass note. The third, that's the quality of the chord. I've said that earlier. The fifth is create a sustainability to the chord, and the seventh is an added tone. So that this is C minor seventh chord. This is how you can build C minor seventh chord. Okay, let's take it to another key. Like, let's take a very strange key. Let's say the key of which one should I pick? Let's say B flat. I'm sure this will be very tough for you to build the minor seventh on B flat. You need a root, which is the B flat, then a minor third. Remember, a minor third is how many semitones? 1, 2, 3. That's 3. So this will be my minor third. Perfect fifth is here, and a minor seventh is here. You see, this is B flat minor seventh. So these are all chord classification, which you need to understand how to build them before you can go to the next tutorial.